everybody! So I haven't done a toy video in a little bit, and it's mostly because I'm kind of stuck right now. So I'll get to what that means in a little bit, but one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was collecting toys as an adult and kind of like the progress for me, like what my current collections are. So I think to start, probably the best place to start would be the beginning. And the doll series that really got me into collecting as an adult would be Monster and Ever After High. More so Monster High because that came first and was around for probably a year or two before they released Ever After High at all. I got my first Monster High doll when I was in grad school. I got the signature Ghoulia Yelps, and I still have that doll, and it means a lot to me. And it set me down a path of spending $20 at a time to find new dolls. But Monster High was a little different because it wasn't quite Barbie. It was still Mattel. It still held that same level of quality, but it was different. It was unique. It was creepy. It was cute. It was not all human skin tones. It was green people. It was blue people. It was pink people. It was purple people. It was like monsters, and that was really cool and interesting, and God, little Elyse would have freaking loved that. So that set me down the adult toy collector path. What I've got here, I actually have, and this is one of the earlier, well, I don't want to say earlier, but this is
from before the reboot.
Yeah, before the reboot. This is Honey Swamp, and just the level of detail and intricacy in this doll is probably one of the best in the entire series. I love her.
I believe she had more accessories that I might have taken off.
Yeah, she had a clipboard, she had a pink belt. This is not my version of Honey. My version of Honey is in my apartment. This is Karen's version. Yeah. But since we're filming at home and I didn't want to bring her with me, but that was Honey. And then in 2016, they completely rebooted the line. Why? We're not sure. Some people say it's because more conservative parents found Monster High too sexy, found them too scary. Some say that it's because the Monster High sector was taking too much away from Barbie's profits. Nobody knows. We can't be sure. But this is one of the reboot dolls. This is Monica Decay. And the reboot drastically reduced the quality of the dolls.
Can I say Monica is the best of the reboot
This
dolls.
is the best example. She still has soft hair. Yeah. It's rooted. She doesn't have glue head, which was a big issue with a lot of the other dolls.
Even before the reboot, the glue head was an issue.
Her clothing is tailored nicely, but one of the issues that they encountered was that they just kind of cheaped out on everything. A lot of the later dolls had significantly reduced points of articulation, had like straight arms that just moved up and down, couldn't bend their legs. The clothing was not as nice.
We'll put in a picture of like the biggest offender.
Yeah, so this is the biggest offender is probably Sylvie Timberwolf. She was a doll that was exclusive to the Electrified line, and her hair felt like a scrub brush.
There's a lot wrong with this doll.
You know, the if I remember correctly, the clothing was just not cut and tailored properly. A lot of the things that I loved about Monster High were the little details. And closer to the end of the line, those little details just disappeared for sake of time. A lot of the shoes didn't really have a lot of the intricate detail, or a lot of the shoes didn't have
they
a lot
lost
of
a lot of
detail. They lost a lot of detail. They weren't painted as often. They were just solid plastic. The plastic of the bodies was a lot cheaper, a lot flimsier, a lot easier to break. And it was really disappointing. What went alongside Monster High was Ever After High. And this is one of my Ever After High dolls. This is Courtly Jester. And you can see like the detail in her shoes, on her dress, the plastic pieces, her gloves, the gauntlets, the little decorations. She's just an incredible doll, and somewhere
Monster High and Ever After High were sister lines.
Yeah, they were sister lines, and somewhere around 2016, they just stopped being produced. There are actually a lot of pictures out there of dolls that just didn't ever make it to production.
Really beautiful dolls.
Really gorgeous dolls that were awesome and would be fun for both children and adult collectors, but just don't exist beyond prototypes. Yeah. So that that left me kind of confused because I had become a doll collector and I really wanted to. A lot of my friends collect American Girl, but unfortunately that's a little too expensive for me to justify for a purchase point. Yeah, big. Same with Asian ball-jointed dolls. Again, very, for me, prohibitively expensive. Blythes and Tonner dolls, art dolls, things like that. Higher level Barbies just weren't gonna make it for me. So the next thing I found, and unfortunately this was kind of limited, were the Disney Attractionistas. And this is Gracie. She is the doll for the Haunted Mansion.
Oh, we can't see her face.
Oh, hang on, let me bring it down.
Okay.
And she is probably the nicest of the ones that I have. I have 4 of the Disney Attractionistas. I picked her up when I was in Disney World, and I liked her because I liked the size of the doll, I liked the styling of the doll, but once I got her out of the box, I noticed that there was a lot of, like, rough edges. This is just a pure cut that might be lined with, like, the fabric. What's that called?
A bead of glue.
No, what's the specific stuff?
Fray check?
Yeah, this is probably just lined with a very thin bead of fray check.
It might even be cut with a hot tool.
Yeah.
That melts it because it's plastic.
The details, like this belt, is just part of the shirt. It doesn't go all the way around. You can't open it.
Right.
Being used to Monster and Ever After High, it made it very difficult for me to want to pursue that quality-wise.
Although I will say her shoes are nice.
Oh yeah, her shoes are very nice. I have 4 of those dolls. But again, because they are Disney Parks exclusives and I don't go there as often as I'd like.
Well, the doll may cost, like, what in the park?
20 bucks. It was like 20 bucks in the park.
You gotta pay to get into the park to get the doll.
Yeah.
The doll suddenly becomes more expensive.
Yeah. So that was a little kind of like a cutoff point there. And then there were a couple of other lines that I have become interested in, but have either not lived up to quality expectations or just have died in the water. And one of those is the Star Wars Forces of Destiny. And I have Rey right here. This is Rey of Jakku. She's still in the box, you can see, because I literally picked her up at Five Below last week. She was $5, down from probably $20 for the original doll. And it's terrible because this is a gorgeous doll. Like, the quality of the clothing is not great. I do believe that that tunic and her pants are plastic molded. There's some cloth on it, like her outside, but I just keep dropping it.
Yeah, you can just leave it on the...
You know, it's
frustrating.
The quality just wasn't there. And the same goes for the Marvel Rising Secret Warriors dolls. Now, this one I'm still hopeful for. I have both Gwen Stacy here, and at home I have the Target exclusive Squirrel Girl, Doreen Green. The issue that I found, again, a lot of the clothing is just cut. There's no seams. It's very simple. A lot of painted and printed fabrics as opposed to just, like, having the fabric in that pattern. I will say that she does, well, you can't really tell, but she's only got 1 pair of shoes.
But she does come with a second outfit.
But she does come with the whole second Spider-Gwen, or, I'm sorry, Ghost Spider outfit. You can see that I actually picked this up on clearance at Target. It was originally a $25 doll that I got for $8. And I don't know if it's because the box has been damaged, or if they're just trying to push product out. From what it appears, the lines are still active, and I may pick up more of these because I like Marvel. I'm a big fan of the Marvel Rising dolls, or the Marvel Rising series, so the dolls to go along with it are really cool. In that same vein, shall we say, I know the DC superhero girls exist. I'm not a big fan of those, and I know for a while there was like a WWE doll line, but I'm not a huge WWE fan, minus John. Love you, John. You're the best.
He's right here.
He's over there. He's watching me. And Barbie, though I love Barbie, is too prolific and too much of a line that Playline dolls are very much for children where they should be and not something I want to collect, and the adult collector dolls are mostly out of my price range.
You could pay $225 for
Plus.
some of the
Yeah,
rare collector bargains.
I actually have a couple on my Amazon wish list that are like $300-400, but
some of them are really, really special though.
yeah, Hasbro makes the Disney Fairies, Hasbro makes the Disney Descendants, Hasbro makes all of the Disney dolls, so that means that properties that I might normally consider collecting, I'm not as inclined towards because the quality just isn't great. I'm sure it's great for kids who want to play with these dolls, because that's ultimately what they're for. They are ultimately toys for children to play with. But for me as a collector, it's just not for me. So I turned to different avenues, and that's where these guys come in. That's where the Funko Pop and the Nendoroid come in. And I know that there's a lot of animosity about one or
Team
the other.
Nendo and Team Funko, but...
I like both. I like both for different reasons. I like Funko Pops because Funko works with a lot of different licenses, and it's something that my fiance and I both collect together. We've got a pretty sizable collection of Pops at this point, of all different kinds. Got from Sailor Moon to Thor to Mystery Science Theater 3000 to The Witcher to Mr. Rogers. We've got so many, and it's great, and I like them, and they're fun and cute. But you can't really play with them. They're not for kids. As for Nendoroids, I have a few. I've got Mario and Luigi. I've got,
Oh, those are Nendos?
Yep, I've got Popoco and Pippi from Pop Team Epic. I've got Lena Inverse. I've got Lily and Cynthia from Pokemon. And am I missing one? I might be missing one, but I don't remember. My issue with Nendoroids is that though they have a fantastic selection of characters, it's not necessarily from series that I'm familiar with. I don't really watch a whole lot of anime anymore, and the price point is just a little too high for me to keep as a reasonable alternative. They're bare minimum $45-50
yeah,
each.
they're very pricey.
And that's a little pricey for me to justify. I would say the only time that I will spend more than like $15 for a pop is if get it, $15 a pop, is if it is a Disney Parks exclusive one. I did pay a pretty penny for the Epcot Anniversary Figment. Yeah, I do have one.
You have Figment?
I have Figment. I have Figment.
Sorry,
I have,
guys. She just blew my mind.
I have Red from Pirates of the Caribbean. I do not have Orange Bird. I do not have the Doom Buggy one.
They got Tiki Room ones, right?
I don't know if they've got Tiki. I think they
I've
do have
seen
Tiki
them.
Room ones. I
Yeah.
don't have those. But I did just buy the Pop Rides for Alice in the Teacup for Mad Tea Party. So that's...
The thing I like about Funko Pops is that they have so many properties, and they're currently being released.
Yes.
So if you get them while they're currently being released, you pay retail price, and it's actually collectible.
It's reasonable. There are definitely some that I wish I could get for a reasonable price. I am looking at you specifically, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Ah.
Oh yeah. But again, they're not dolls, and they don't really scratch that same itch for me. And so the last one I want to talk about right now is something that I've talked about on my channel before. I've done some unboxings of them before, but it is the Hairdorables. And I think that these little Hairdorables are perfect little dolls, especially now that you can see in season 2, they've got stands.
It's a saddle stand.
Yeah,
so
it's a saddle stand, so it's not perfect, but it's still pretty great. There is one big flaw with these Hairdorables, though, for a collector like me, and it's that they're blind boxed. And I am not going to go on eBay to spend exorbitant amounts of money for the one doll I want when it's a super rare. And it stinks because I don't want to end up with duplicates. These are a little bit pricier than I usually want to spend. You know, these are like $12, $13 for a blind box.
And they're nice.
And they're gorgeous dolls. And
that's
really,
a great
like,
price for a doll.
But a doll that I know what I'm getting.
You don't know what you're buying, and you could get
I
five of the same thing.
I don't want to end up with 5 of the same doll at this point in time. Karen doesn't customize these. My niece doesn't really collect them. I don't have anywhere else to rehome them, and I'm not about to be the person to just list them on eBay because I'm lazy. I'm really lazy. That leads me to the question. If you are an adult doll collector, what are you collecting these days? You know, if you were a Monster High collector back in the early days, like 2011, 2012, what makes up your collection? Have you stopped? Have you shifted over to more expensive dolls? Please let me know down below. And if there's, especially if there's something that I'm missing, if there's something I'm not familiar with. I'm familiar with the new Equestria girls. I'm familiar with DC Superhero girls. I'm familiar with that WWE doll line. It's just they don't really appeal to me. Let me know. Let's talk. I'd love to hear what you guys are picking up these days. And if you have any specific requests of things that you'd maybe like to see from my collection, let me know down below. I don't really know where I was going with this video, so I hope you were able to find a point with it. I want to start a conversation. You know, let's use those comments. Let's talk about dolls, man. Let's just talk about dolls.
If you'd like to hit Elyse up on Twitter,
yeah, if you'd like
dolls,
to,
we'll talk there too.
Yeah, if you'd like to send me a message on Twitter, my Twitter handle is the same as here, @ElyseExplosion. I'd love to continue this conversation. My social media links are in the description below. If you'd like to see more toy videos from me, more like this where we're just kind of like having a little chit chat about things, let me know in the comments. I really do want to talk about dolls, y'all. But if you did like what you see and you'd like to see more, hit that little subscribe button. Click the little bell, because if you want to stay in the know, the bell's the way to go. Likes and comments let me know to keep doing what I'm doing. Thank you all so very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Later!